On October 26th, the Anoka Community Anti-Crime Commission held its 30th annual fundraising breakfast at Greenhaven Golf Course and Event Center. There, Anoka County citizens, department heads, and public servants gathered to listen to guest speakers and presentations regarding the collaborative efforts between the community and law enforcement to make Anoka County a safer place for us to live and work. Presentations included the 2021 Police Activity Report from Anoka Chief of Police Eric Peterson.
In looking at some of the 2020 statistics, you'll notice that we're a busy police department for our size. We responded to over 22,000 calls for service in 2020. After its significant increase in 2019, our calls for service dropped by 5%. We still respond to over 60 calls per service per day, and even though our calls for service have dropped since 2019, we still respond to 6% more calls for service than we did in 2018. Part 1 crimes are the most serious crimes that we track. They include crimes like murder, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, burglary, arson, and auto theft. 2020 was a year where some would say that crime should be low because of our response to the pandemic. Others would say crime is very high because of what we see on the news media. I'm happy to report that in Anoka, crime was down. Our Part 1 crimes were at our 5-year low, and even though our calls for service remained high.
In addition to the Police Activity Report, was a special presentation of a K-9 Purple Heart and Gallantry Star to K-9 Bravo and his officer for their heroic efforts in the line of duty.
I tell a story. On February 21st of 2021, our department was nearly turned upside down when we learned that K-9 Bravo was shot in the line of duty. Bravo was stabilized and then transported back to the U of M Pet Hospital. It was discovered that the bullet had entered through his throat, struck a vertebra, and exited his right shoulder. Bravo recovered fully in just a few short months. He has returned to work and most impressively recertified as a patrol dog at both the regional canine trials and most recently the national canine trials in North Carolina. The decorations that I'm about to give are for performing their duty with acts of heroism and are considered beyond the call of duty.
The distinguished speaker at the commission breakfast was Chief William Blair Anderson from the St. Cloud Police Department, who spoke on his mission to restore trust in the Minnesota police as well as his overarching passion and ambition to bring better policing practices into his community.
People have expectations of us. I have a few rules as a manager, as an administrator, for the people that work with and for me, and they are not negotiable. And at the top of the list is we don't strip human beings of their dignity ever. Not even the ones who beg us to all day long. That's why we're the professionals. There is a time and a place for us to put our work hands on people. Sometimes people leave us no choice, but their dignity is still preserved. The second one is you better be right. You don't get to have a bad day. I had a reporter ask me that, well, what do you mean? These people are human beings. My response was, I got that. But the way I was raised and taught is when somebody calls and asks you for help, they have submitted. Whatever the problem is, no matter how large or small you think it is, they've said, I can't handle it, will you help me? And you don't kick people in the gut when they've got the courage to ask you for help. And the last one is simply this, and I can't mandate it after I hire them, but before I do, I ask them 3 simple questions. Number 1, why do you want to be a police officer? I've heard everything under the sun. Well, it's a good job, strike 1. You gotta do better. What have you done in furtherance of that goal? This was a response I got. Well, I watch Cops. I read Soldier of Fortune, strike 2. Third most important question is, do you volunteer? The answer is no, their application goes in the trash. Care how good they look on paper. And the reasons are obvious. You've never done something for someone else who can do nothing for you without expecting something in return. You're not gonna do as well at this job as you should, particularly now, more than ever.
Other speakers at the commission breakfast included the president of the Anti-Crime Commission, Mike Scott, Anoka City Council member Brian Wesp, retired Police Chief Andy Revering, Police Chief Brian Padani, and Commission Board Member Pete Bieberg. To view the full show from the Anti-Crime Commission Breakfast, visit our Community Programs page on our website at qctv.org.